Oh, woe is me. I must put my quos in a box. I'm getting the recording. Let's do time.is. I'm ready to
Yep,
clap.
I got time.is open.
I don't have time.is open.
Rose!
I have been so sick.
Rose, I had COVID.
I'm so sick I can't open tabs anymore.
You got better.
So did you.
Yeah, well, I'm mostly better.
Mm-hmm.
What, you got the worms still? Or, what's up?
No, I'm just...
No worms, no worms.
I don't think so.
Woyams. They pay me in woyams.
I wish
Woyams.
they paid me in woyms.
I'm going over to
They give me the
Chicago, the
stupid-ass money
Woimy
shit.
City.
I am going to the Woimy City. I am going to Chicago. Listeners, meet me in Chicago. I will be there
for
for
an ass
15
kicking.
whole minutes. Oh my god.
They pay me in woyams, and on Patreon I get over 3,200 woyams per month.
Oh my god. I can
It's
quit my
pretty good
job.
living, I gotta say.
I joined the beginning pledge for simply just a can of worms. I don't know if you want to open it.
Oh.
This is. I'm gonna.
You can open it, but once you do, you can't close it again.
We're gonna have to fucking deworm ourselves for the podcast. We can't make worm jokes the entire time.
Oh, worm?
Well,
Fuck, I'm ready to clap.
Ready to
that
clap.
we do it and then we
Come
can't
on.
stop. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Let's clap on 30. Hello, welcome to Updated Autopsy Report, a podcast from Yotsuben and Friends where we replay the entire Ace Attorney series with longtime fans and newcomers. I'm your host, Ben, and with me today is Dessy.
Hello.
And two good friends of ours, Tiago.
Hello. Yo, that's my cat. Whoa. My catchphrase is yo. It's always been yo. I'm not. The spirit changed me. I'm back to yo now.
Are you sure you're not an imposter, Tiago?
I'm real.
It's really you? It's not somebody just pretending to be you?
No, I'm me.
Imposter.
Okay.
There's no
All right.
wax figure. There's no
All right.
twin. I'm not faking my death on a boat. I'm
Okay.
here.
And Rose.
Hi.
Dessy and I are the longtime fans, and Rose and Tiago are the newcomers. We hope that through both of our perspectives, as we play through the series, it'll reveal new details and provide interesting commentary for a series that's near and dear to us. Today, we have all played the first half of the fourth case of Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve, Twisted Karma, and His Last Bow. So, before I get into the summary, any big feelings up front with our crazy, kind of shocking twist that happens after our first investigation segment almost?
Dead ass. I don't even remember what the twist was. I'm too busy thinking about dead Gregsy.
That's the
That's the
surprise.
twist.
That's the surprise.
Oh, that's the
Dead
twist?
Dead Gregson.
That's so
Oh,
sad.
Our poor friend Gregson, who we kind of didn't like.
Yeah.
I mean, here-
well,
here-
now
down
I
with
feel
Gregson,
bad.
But now he's
I don't-
gone, and now
I don't feel that bad.
absence makes the heart grow fonder.
I guess.
My heart's pretty getting actually colder, weirdly enough.
I do feel kind of bad.
Like Gregson's
I'll-
body getting colder.
Yeah.
Yeah, his body was cold when we found it. We didn't even find it. Someone else found it. We
Right.
should do the summary so that this makes sense.
Okay, well that's
If
fine.
we
It's
must.
been because of scheduling and everything. As longtime listeners of the show, have been keeping up with things. We have all completed this segment a while ago, and now we're recording, so we got to refresh
I'm
our memories
so
a little
sorry, everyone. I absolutely had laryngitis.
bit.
I had
Rose
COVID.
Rose got knocked
I
over
I
real
did
hard.
not
so.
have COVID. I went to the doctor. They tested me for every disease. I have
I got-
nothing.
I got COVID on New Year's. That was crazy.
Oh, well, but you didn't give it to me. I did not get it. I
We-
legit just lost my voice, and then I got a sinus infection.
It's so funny that we went out to a Chinese buffet and the next day I text you going, Rose, I have COVID.
And I'm like running to get a PCR test, and I'm like, I don't have COVID. Now what do we do? Oh my god.
And yes, the holidays threw our schedule off in ways we could not have ever anticipated after the holidays were over. So, oh well, it happens. That's just how podcasting goes. The case opens with Ryunosuke and Susato arriving at the Great Waterloo Hotel to meet the arriving Professor Mikotoba and Judge Jigoku, who are now decked out in full Western-style suits and clothing. The two are here for an international symposium on forensic science, but Ryu and Susato want to talk to Mikotoba about everything he knows. They discuss the professor killings and Kazma's father, Genshin Asogi. Additionally, they reveal to Mikotoba that Kazma is alive, and he genuinely seems to have not known, although he did know that Kazma's body went missing when it was deposited at Hong Kong. They all wonder why Strongheart didn't tell anyone. The four all take a picture together to celebrate the older gentleman's arrival, and then Mikotoba alludes to having one request of Ryunosuke. However, he doesn't get the chance to elaborate, and all four head their separate ways. Back at Sholmes' office, they find he has turned his hair red as part of a plan to investigate the Red-Headed League. Ryunosuke ignores the detective's shenanigans and instead asks for more details on why he removed Kazma's body from the ship and hid his survival. Sholmes is particularly evasive, but admits that he did have a reason to believe that Kazma was in mortal danger, and hiding the fact that he was still alive was in his best interest. However, he also admits that he made some mistakes and didn't anticipate Kazma disappearing in Hong Kong. The crew bumps into a new client for Sholmes, Evie Vigil. She reports that her husband, Daily Vigil, is a chief warder at the Barclay prison and has been missing for a little over a day. Sholmes insists that he can't go out looking like this with his hair all red, so he sends Ryunosuke and Susato to investigate for him instead. The two encounter some racism from the prison warden, Barry Caden, and then thankfully get a letter from Susato's dad that smooths everything over ASAP. Barry admits Daly hasn't worked there for nearly 10 years. In fact, he was let go right around the time of the professor that was sent to the gallows. But he daren't say any more. Returning to Sholmes with the news, the crew is surprised by Gina Lestrade bursting in as she sobs and reveals that Tobias Gregson was shot and killed. And what's more, Van Zeeks was the primary suspect. Switching into high gear, Ryu and Susato immediately begin investigating, and Van Zeeks, of course, insists that no one can or should defend him, and he especially doesn't want Ryunosuke doing that. While he stews, the two head to the crime scene. There they find an empty room with a red string board connecting all the Reaper cases, a red wig, and some candles that'll be important later. After a bit of poking around and collecting evidence, they loop back to Van Zeeks and finally convince him to let Ryunosuke defend him. There's some longer conversations here that we can dive into later. And also, as you might guess, Kazma is prosecuting. In court, it's revealed that this is a closed trial with no jury, and instead, members of the judiciary are in the stands to ensure fair proceedings. Van Zeeks testifies first and states that he was investigating Gregson for something, and followed him into an empty apartment. Then he heard a bang, and Gregson's body appeared on the ground, after which 3 street merchants ran in, witnessing Van Zeeks standing over the body, as he very stupidly picked up the gun. After he finishes his testifying, Ryunosuke is about to point out Van Zeeks' contradiction when Kazma does it as all by himself as his cool new theme song plays, beating you to the punch. Kazma also alleges that this apartment is in fact the Reaper's hideout, and that Gregson was murdered for discovering it. He then calls the 3 street merchants to the stand. Venus, Gossip, and Sandwich, who is definitely not Beppo, all have a wacky quirk, and Ryunosuke starts to point out issues pretty quickly. 1, Venus sells firecrackers to kids, including one that makes a large bang, just like a gunshot. Additionally, thanks to Sandwich's observations, Ryu catches Gossip and Venus in some lies, which reveals that Gossip knocked over the bulletin board and accidentally got a bloody handprint on it. This board would have helpfully blocked light and hid Gregson's body, helping corroborate Van Zeeks' testimony that the body just appeared. Lastly, they cover the time of death using Gregson's pocket watch and Gina's testimony to learn that the time of death could have been falsified. Additionally, the autopsy report was oddly short of details like the time of death. Ryu also points out how the candles could have been used as a timer to set off the firecracker on a delay, thus forging the gunshot sound when Van Zieks was arriving. Thus, someone else could have killed Gregson. Who? Perhaps the people running the scam he was currently investigating, the Red-Headed League. As such, the 2 people arrested yesterday from the League are summoned to court, and a recess is called until they arrive. So yes, that is where we left off in the middle of our courtroom segment, because this case is paced slightly differently than usual. But yeah, we get our usual investigation segment that is in 2 halves, basically, and then we end up in court.
Can I say something?
Sure.
This is not one of the braver things I've said. It's pretty, I would say, even like normal take. The judge in a suit, yo? At the beginning of the game?
You're so right.
Whoa? Hello? We're gonna gloss over the fact that, like, apparently... I think that's why... Hear me out. I think that's why the professor became a serial killer, is because he knew he wasn't going to become a DILF. So he had to compensate. he had to make a name for himself. Like, those two are genetically made to be DILFs. What do I gotta do?
I think I posited this theory at some point earlier, because I definitely remember being like, he's not as much of a DILF as the other 2.
That's Rose. You've put there's a possibility of this thought is simply just a brainworm that you've given me.
That's our friendship.
Yeah,
just give each other brainsworms.
Friendship is simply Pavloving those close to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's so true.
So Gregson's dead, and it's kind of funny to me that, like, our little new Lestrade is, like, kind of broken up about it, because I'm just like, didn't he try to kill you, like, 3 months ago? Like, he almost got you killed?
He felt really bad about it, I guess.
I guess, behind the scenes, the notion that we're supposed to have is that he felt so bad about it that he tried to, like, adopt her into his career.
Right.
But, like, the only reason she isn't dead is because we did that. Like, you didn't... At the time, you were an aggressor. Like, I don't care how remorseful you are.
You were ready to let her get convicted for this originally.
She was gonna meet the noose, and you fucking simply were like, damn, that's crazy. Good luck, though.
Yeah, I gotta protect some government secrets. Who cares if a teenager
hangs?
gets sent to the gallows. So, it's
I don't
interesting.
Am I supposed to feel... Do you guys feel bad about Gregson?
I do a little bit.
There's a little bit of, like, right, yes.
He kind of annoyed me, but, like, I feel a little bad.
Gina doesn't fully... I mean, she's a kid, right? It's very easy for her to see the most recent thing that's happened to her and go, oh, Gregson has turned over a new leaf. He's giving me a job now. He's helping me out. This is something I'm good at, and it's great, right? We're going to the pub every night, me and Gregson, right? As she later reveals.
Good for her.
Well, you know, the game is trying to complicate Gregson here a little bit and give him a little bit of depth to his character, I think.
He's a complicated guy.
In that, yes, he did try to fuck over Gina at one point, and now he... Maybe, you know, yes, we don't hear it directly. Does he feel bad? Does he, regret does he regret his words and deeds? And now he's trying to, help Gina out by getting her established in life.
Wait.
We don't know exactly. But
is the phrase your words and deeds? I thought it was sins and deeds.
No, it was a Kojima tweet.
Yeah,
I understand that it's a Kojima tweet, but I thought from the Kojima tweet he said sins and deeds.
Oh, I don't know.
I understand that this is just like not even relevant to what we're talking about.
The Kojima tweet is you will be ashamed of your words and deeds. Yes.
What's concerned to me is that I said it out aloud in the world, and then immediately went.
Now you gotta live with that.
I can't be ashamed. I can't be wrong. All right, let's go back to Gregson. I guess it's a bummer. We're all reminded of our own mortality. I don't know. I wish I cared a little bit more, but like he did almost let my new like teenage sidekick get hanged. But she forgave him, so like it's kind of messy. He's a messy guy.
It does kind of seem like he's been taking decent care of her.
Yeah, he makes her sure that she's like clothed and fed like a dog, I guess. I don't know.
That's what you do for your apprentice. That's not weird.
I make sure that my apprentice doesn't eat lobster. I'm trying to make sure he eats good food.
Yeah.
He is also mentioned by Van Zieks later in the case, right? Right when we get Van Zieks to accept Ryunosuke as a client, and he mentions the autopsy for Clint, right? Yeah. And he says that Gregson pushed for doing an autopsy on Clint's body at the time, which was unheard of or considered like, I guess, indecent, right then, because he was a noble, right? You don't do autopsies on noble people. That's not Gucci. So the fact that he pushed for that, and as a result, they were able to solve the professor killings, Van Zieks respects Gregson a lot because of that, right? He was willing to kind of push norms to like find the truth. And so we get like a little bit of extra color and texture to Gregson's backstory
I'm like,
as
where's
well
this
here.
guy? Where was this guy when he was like fucking simpering over like a child?
Right.
And not even in a way where he needs to be on the offender list.
Yeah.
I agree with most of your placements, by the way, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I think that you were a little too mean to my girl April May. I think she deserves to be a little higher. You guys put her down a little too fast. But then you were discussing Manfred von Karma, and I was like, S, and you agreed with me, so thank you.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about Godot being S?
I think he's a really good character, and I would not have fought you on that one.
Yippee!
There you go.
I can't stop winning.
And you kept Francisca in A, which I do agree with. So
I feel like if we put her any lower, we would have received like a text.
Yeah, I would have been sending you a note in the mail.
Yeah, it'd be filled with a certain kind of powder.
Anyways, yeah, no, Gregson doesn't deserve to like be on a list. He's just kind of. But
the thing about
he's dead now, so I guess we gotta. He wasn't all bad.
He was a complicated guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of you know what? I'm actually turning around on Gregson because he was so complicated.
As we're talking about it, we're talking into it.
Because like, here's the thing: is that like he's so messy in everything he does. He hates Sholmes, but recognizes that his words and deeds affect his pay grade, and he's like actually a really good detective. But because this bumbling fool determines his reputation, it also determines his like opportunities.
Yeah. I wish we got to see a little more of him like genuinely being a good detective, because I'm taking a lot of people's words for it.
Apparently, he was so good he gets his own fucking cases that no one else knows about, and that's no way going to be affected and not going to be brought up in court. No way.
Mm-hmm.
No way. That one's quite a lot, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe I like him now. I guess am I sad that he's dead? No, I think him dying was the best thing to happen to his character.
I mean, yeah, it happened.
It creates like a lot of development in a lot of other people's arcs. So I'm glad that we fridged the fuck out of him. Thanks, man.
Into the refrigerator. I think we should fridge more male characters.
Hell yeah, brother.
I'm pro fridging, but I want it to be equal.
I really wish Cosmo fucking stayed in there.
You want to put him back in the fridge?
He broke out like Indiana Jones after that nuke went off, and I'm kind of pissed about it.
I'm over him.
You're over him? He's gonna be the prosecutor.
Yeah, I know he is. What happened to my friend? Who's this guy?
I wonder if we should focus.
Mean?
We're kind of dancing. We're kind of dancing all over the place, but yeah, Cosmo is our prosecutor now. Gee Willikers, he's just a defense attorney on the other side.
Yeah, literally Van Zieks is like, I don't know what's going on.
It is funny, yeah. Van Zieks is just like, I don't know. He's a little shocked that it's Cosma, like, at the bench at first when you tell him that, but then after that, he just kind of was like,
yeah, fuck it.
Once he, like, kind of realizes, like, oh, he, like, starts to read between the lines, I think.
Baron Van Ziek's no good, very bad day.
You know, as I think he starts to kind of figure out what's going on a little bit about as far as I don't think he quite realizes it here, like that Cosmo's related yet, but he starts to realize that he's at least interested in something, you know.
No, I mean, he figures it out. He knows his name.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yes. No.
Van Zieks showed us the statue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm trying. Yes. I was just trying to remember if he knew Cosmo's name, right?
Yeah, he knows Cosmo's name.
We tell him
now.
for the first time.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm
like,
trying
fuck.
I'm trying to separate my future knowledge and my
I know
my knowledge here
right
in
now.
front of me, because
I don't have the burden of knowledge.
Right.
I think
I'm trying to remember. Did that happen yet?
So what happened?
It's been 2 weeks since I refreshed my memory.
I took some photos to help myself, and I'm glad I did. Although,
yeah,
my favorite one that I took is just a picture of Van Zieks like in a prison cell, and he's just saying like "Fancy meeting you here," which is what I say to my coworkers every day as I'm walking into work, and the vibe is exactly the same.
Right. Yep. Also, again, the scene that launched like 1,000 ships here of Van Zieks reading the letter from Hairbrain over and over while he's in the cell.
And he's like, "No, I only just got it."
Yeah, it's like, okay. You come back, he's still reading it. It's like, it must be a long letter,
when you go
dude.
to the bathroom without your phone.
Bro, I'm reading the back of the shampoo bottle.
Yeah, real.
We need to bring back having like toy magazines in bathrooms.
Yes.
Dude, actually based, I'll do that.
I'm saying insane stuff today because I could talk again and I'm so excited about it.
Rose, I'm so glad for you.
Work's making me manic, but we're good.
Skipped over it a little bit, but yeah, like that intro scene, we got to meet Mikotoba and the judge, and we obviously briefly mentioned the judge being a DILF here. But he also like messes with Ryunosuke a little bit in that he like is like, "You don't remember me, do you?" And Ryunosuke's like, "You seem familiar, but I'm not sure." He's like, "Check this out," and he bangs his gavel in the air and is like, "Guilty." And Ryunosuke's like, "Oh, I remember now."
Dude, imagine if you pulled out the hammer Bloodborne weapon. That'd be so sick.
Oh my god, everyone should just be thinking about imagine if somebody pulled out Bloodborne trick weapon.
That's so sick.
You should be thinking about it every day.
I am. Dude,
I also love that Mikotoba just starts reclining on the sofa in the hotel lobby and is like, "Yeah,
he owns the goddamn
you guys
place.
go ahead and go do your thing." And you're like,
"Yeah.
Oh, you don't want to talk?" And he's like, "No, I'm busy. I'm busy.
I'm doing stuff."
Straight up, Ryunosuke says, under his breath, "You don't look that busy." And Mikotoba goes, "What's up, bud? What's up? What's up? What'd you say? Huh? I'm busy. I'm getting ready for the fucking forensic symposium tomorrow, you idiot. That's why I'm here." By the way, the forensic thing isn't tomorrow. And we have to go talk about Strongheart about that. And we go to Strongheart, and we see our boy Kazuma talking to him under a hushed tone. And then we ask Cosmo, what was up with that? It is so... Okay, I actually think the scene is really interesting that we talk to Strongheart the entire time, and Cosmo is just simply behind him, stanced up. And I'm like, are we not gonna... Can I talk to him real quick? I got some shit to
my
say.
buddy, my best friend, my pal.
Like pointing over his shoulder, like pointing over Strongheart's shoulder, being like, I'd actually... That guy, please.
I'd like to talk to him.
Strongheart simply goes, "Hey, so yesterday you got my top lead forensic like accused of murder, and she is guilty. So this has set back my plan by years." And Ryunosuke goes, "Oh jeez, sorry." And he goes, "Interesting. Anyway."
He's also like, no, you were right. Somebody had to do it. Great Britain's in a debt to you. I will be finishing my weird dream.
My dream of introducing science to crime.
Because he can't just be like, "No, I hate you because you did this." Like, you gotta keep up appearances.
Right. I still think there's a solid chance that we accuse Strongheart of a crime, but like, when we do, he's gonna fight us tooth and fucking nail on it, and I'm really scared.
He's got to have done something. Just look at the man.
He gives me big, oh my god, there's a Street Fighter character, I don't remember his name, I just remember his move, Aegis Reflector. That's not helpful. It's
Just Google it. Just Google the move.
I don't want to Google while I'm using, like,
Oh my god.
Oh, you're talking about Urian.
Yeah, he just, like, he's very imposing. He's very Capcom coded.
Sure.
Like,
Well,
that is a Capcom character.
Yeah.
Capcom
Well, funny
mode.
enough, this is a Capcom game.
That's what I'm saying. Some characters are Capcom
What?
coded, some of them aren't. You see, Gregson, he was, like, Professor Layton coded, but Strongheart's Capcom coded.
Mhm.
I could see a world... No, Van Zeek's is Capcom coded, but he's also Fire Emblem coded.
Yeah.
Kazuma's Capcom coded. I could do an entire tier list on this, but we gotta move on.
More
I also
tier
feel like-
list.
I also feel like that I've been talking too much. Someone else take over.
Not talking too much.
I don't know. I just want to make sure that you're heard.
It's all good, homie.
I
Shit,
forget what we
really?
were talking about.
Strongheart, Cosma behind him.
After we meet up with those two, one thing that Cosmo gives us is this photograph of
Look at this.
Clint and Van Zeeks and Gregson when they were all younger. And so he's like, you
Gregson
should have
looks
this.
exactly the same.
It's so funny.
The fish and
so
chips
funny.
are
He looks
preserving
identical.
his skin. Like
His
I
hair
think
isn't quite as gray.
It's a black and white
Black and
photo.
white.
It's lighter.
it's sepia.
It's sepia.
It's sepia.
And so we
He's-
go back to Sholmes' office, and that's when we meet Evie Vigil.
the baddie
has
from
got-
the previous jury.
Yeah, she's. From
I
the-
saw her
from
and
the
I was
previous
like,
jury.
oh my god, there she is. That girl
My-
that Tiago and I were noticing.
I really go, oh ma'am, sorry, you dropped your anything. How can I help you?
Oh, you dropped your contact, ma'am.
You dropped my contact, ma'am.
Yeah. So yeah, Sholmes has dyed his hair red, as we learned to, because he's investigating the
'Cause he's a
the
freak.
Red-Headed League, which if you have not read any Sherlock Holmes, that is a direct reference.
I actually,
to
we
the
talked about
original-
it earlier because
One of the other cases has a reference to the Red-Headed
Yes.
League without mentioning them, right?
the original plot in the Red-Headed League is to distract a unfortunate pawnbroker with red hair to be out of his shop while the thieves dig a hole in the ground of it into the nearby bank,
Right.
which Sholmes references in one of his incorrect deductions.
So so we have that kind of reference coming back up here, although it is really mostly just in name.
Mhm.
And I mean, they're still doing some kind of scheme. We don't know what it is, but there's some kind of Red-Headed League thing going on. And he's
Maybe
been
just a regular
investigating.
Ponzi scheme.
And it seems like Gregson was investigating it as well, because when Gregson's body is found later, he has a red wig right there as well next to his body.
I
Um,
think it very much looked like, I think this is my like already prediction phase. I think the Red-Headed League was either like a scheme to steal cash from people, or it was an event to set up like to kill somebody who is important. And maybe it was an assassination attempt for Gregson. And because he was like chasing some other secret case that we don't know about yet.
Well, I'm thinking back to at the end of the first game. There's that telegram list of names,
Mm-hmm.
and his is one of them, and
Yeah,
Cosmo's is one of them,
Mm-hmm.
and there was another name that we didn't know, but
Yeah, the last-
Cosmo
Shin.
was supposed
Yeah.
to be dead, and now Gregson is dead.
Yes.
So that's just interesting.
Oh, it's a list of people to kill?
It might be.
Like a hit list?
It might be somebody's hit list.
Do you
Now,
think
I don't know
that...
why, but
I don't even know what Cosmo's... It would have to be something in which that relates to, like, the
We're
professor case, because that's the only common thread between Gregson and Cosmo is simply
Yeah.
just that. But then
we're
we don't know
speculating
who...
out here.
Yeah, we're speculating out here. But who's A. Shin? That's not someone who is related. We haven't seen anyone related to the Professor case with that name. We don't have enough information. That's fine.
Yeah.
I don't have anyone to press. We can't press Ben because he'll actually know us, and we can't press Des because
burden with knowledge.
Yeah, burden with knowledge. I just said I didn't want to press you. You seemed like you were busy.
I don't have anything specific about it. It's just an interesting thing that I noticed.
That's a good point. I'll subscribe to that theory. I'll put it in my RSS.
Yeah, maybe not a full baked theory, but just
yeah,
much to think about.
I forgot the entire reason we started investigating the missing prison guard is because a hot lady asked us to, and also Holmes is broke again. Holmes, you need a budget. Why isn't fucking
Where's
Iris
the
doing
money
this?
going?
Iris is buying.
Iris is she's got to be balancing the checkbook, right?
No, it's Holmes. Holmes is balancing the checkbook. That's the issue.
Well, she's like, you bought a car, and I'm like, he bought a what now?
In London? The not car city at the time?
I don't know.
That's crazy.
He bought some stupid thing.
He should have just bought a bike. So then he goes, I don't want to do a missing person case. And then a person comes up and goes, I would like to do a missing person case. And his response is, do you have money? And she goes, yes. And he goes, understood.
Ryunosuke, you go handle this. I can't go outside because my hair is red.
Alright, here's the thing. When people dye their hair, do they normally dye their eyebrows as well?
Well, to be clear, what Sholmes has done here is not dye his hair. He has instead drank a potion that he made that has turned his hair red.
That's crazy.
It's not dye. It's something sillier. It's wackier and more fantastical.
He is inventing something that doesn't exist in the real world.
Yes, he claims that he made a potion and he drank it and it turned his hair red.
What else did it do? That's the issue. Are you going to die soon?
Made his tummy upset.
His tummy was upset because he tried a bunch of potions. You shouldn't do a bunch of them.
I love
one potion a day is more than enough.
House told me I shouldn't be taking a bunch of meds at once.
House?
Yeah, House.
Yeah.
There was
House
an episode...
would tell you to take everything at once.
No, House. There was a specific episode where a painter was on a bunch of clinical trials to get some cash, and House goes, "I don't care that you're on a clinical trial. I care that you're on multiple clinical trials. You're a guinea pig." And then he said something probably transphobic.
Probably.
You gotta make sure that you drank potions.
Yeah.
The House is recommending potions.
All right.
To cure...
House had a Game Boy Advance.
Yeah. He was playing Metroid.
He was playing Metroid on that Game Boy Advance. Do you think there's a timeline where if House went on long enough, he would have played Ace Attorney on the DS?
Sure.
What if we had Gregory House on the podcast?
Calling up Hugh Laurie right now on my cell phone.
Yeah, like Hugh Laurie?
No, Gregory House.
If somebody has Hugh Laurie's agent's email, send it to me.
I'd like Hugh Laurie. Hugh Laurie's like a really funny guy.
Yeah.
He's genuinely fucking
He's a silly,
hilarious.
funny comedian.
Yeah.
This bit has turned around to us actually complimenting Hugh Laurie, so I can't continue on the depraved path it does on, because now everyone's having a good time.
What's wrong with Hugh Laurie?
Nothing's wrong with Hugh Laurie. I was just trying to bring an awful person onto the podcast.
Me and Des are like ready to defend his stand-up comedy.
He does stand-up?
He's a comedian. He's a British comedian.
Yeah.
I know he's a British comedian, but I didn't think he did stand-up.
That's usually what comedians do.
He has he had like a show for a while, so
I know he had a show.
It was not House. It was a different show that wasn't House.
I know he wasn't House. He had like a British show with British people on it.
Fucking British. I've missed all my friends.
I can't believe he had a British show with British people. It's crazy.
Okay, but it would not be crazy if there was a British show with non-British people on it. I would believe it. I just can't think of one.
It's not like American shows occasionally have British people on it or something. That'd be crazy. They'd have to do like an American accent the entire season just to fit in. That'd be silly.
Yeah, he'd also have to play a doctor. What's up with that?
Who the fuck would do that?
Oh my
Nuts.
god.
I'm getting feverish.
We're doing great. We are no closer to figuring out what's going on.
I don't think House did it, that's for truth.
I agree.
House
If
has
you're
done some
feverish,
things,
maybe
but
you
it
should
wasn't
see
that.
Dr. House.
Oh, true.
So Evie says, please go look for my husband. He's been gone over a day. And Sholmes is like, well, usually you don't look for somebody if they've only been gone for a little over a day. But she has money, so yes, he sends Ryunosuke to go investigate, and they go to where he works. Evie's like, well, he's a warden at Barclay Prison. So they're like, okay, well, we'll go start poking around Barclay Prison. And as they get there, the warden, Barry Caden, who is a huge triangle of a man, basically.
Cartoon guy.
Yeah,
Kind of a
cartoon
Muppet.
character. The most muscly Muppet we've encountered so far.
You think he's
our
a Muppet?
characters. He's definitely
Not all the way,
Muppet-ish,
but
he's riding that line. And yeah, so he immediately is just like, well, I don't want to talk to Japanese people. I'm sorry. You gotta leave.
Racista.
And of course, we are, instead of saying, like, there's nothing that we can say basically to convince him. So you have to back out and go talk to Professor Mikotoba and get a letter of recommendation, because we learn that they worked together at one point.
Mm-hmm.
You show the letter to Barry, and then instantly he's like, oh my god, Sasato, why didn't you say you were Professor Mikotoba's daughter? I would have talked to you right away if you just said that. I'm not
Silly
racist
me.
to people I like.
I'm only racist to your kind.
So that gets you in the door there. Again, this weird version of racism in which they don't want to talk to you because of how you look and who you are.
The
But
racism.
if they know the one good one and you got a letter of recommendation, then it's fine. Then all the racism just disappears and they treat you normally. Then the second that you've turned the corner. So
They don't hate you because they think you're inferior. They just hate you because you're that race.
well, it's all especially for Barry here. It descends from the professor killings again. One Japanese guy did something awful once and soiled his whole
Spoiled it.
impression of Japanese people for the rest of his life. Except for the fact that he loved Professor Mikotoba. He thought he was the coolest ever. He was a great,
I feel like nobody's learning anything.
medical
You know
examiner.
what?
Yeah, so it's not very consistent, and I don't know if it quite works. Right, there's something going on here where it doesn't quite click for me. Because I feel like
You know what? At least somebody admits that their racism is stupid.
yeah, it's very illogical. Yes, it is.
I think that
That at least
But
is
he's
true.
still not being nice to us, which I think is fine, actually, because if he just flipped a switch and started being nice, I think that would bother me more.
Mhm.
I kind of just wish he was just straight up xenophobic. Like,
we got to be careful about saying.
He's
what?
not real. He's not
No,
a real
it's
man.
fine. It's fun. I know it's funny. We've said it more than once now that, like, I wish that they would just be racist to us.
No. Let me be perfectly clear. I would rather have it that he just did not like anyone who is non-British. Like,
Yeah.
because like that makes more sense to me in
That
the
is
context.
very British.
That's the most British thing possible. Simply just go, "Are you British? No. All right. What are you talking to me for?" Like, if he met a German person, he'd be like, "That fucking bastard." If he met Professor Hairbrain, I want him to treat him the exact same. But like, because the racism stems from a specific event, it's like so strange to me. But also, who knows? I have the mentality of a person a century later. I know what a cell phone is. This motherfucker doesn't know what a cell phone is. If he had TikTok, would he be the same? Who knows?
We didn't have TikTok for a little while there.
True. And look at us. We didn't do so
I
well.
haven't had
Survived.
TikTok this whole time.
Yeah.
None of us are on TikTok, to be clear. Wait, there is an Ace Attorney TikTok, isn't there? There's our updated autopsy report TikTok, isn't there?
Yeah, there's our corporate account that I post to once every 3 months.
Corporate account.
Our Corpo account.
Oh my
Oh
god,
my God.
corporate TikTok account.
I don't know. Maybe this guy just was obsessing in a way because, like, I kind of love everything he's about. He has, like, little handcuff biscuits. He has tea.
Yeah, the animations are good.
But, like, then at the very end, he goes, all right, I don't want to see you anymore. Get out. Also, I'll help you. And it's like, what? What? Whose side are you on?
He tells us, he tells us the details for Daly, which is that he was let go. He was fired 10 years ago because of something that happened during the professor killings and when the professor was being sent to the gallows. And he won't go into any details other than that, but he will give us a copy of the form that shows that he was fired.
So
I guess
and
that's
he was
helpful.
fired for assisting in an escape attempt.
Right.
He must have attempted
If you read
to...
the form.
Right.
Yeah. I think he must have attempted to help the escape of the professor. I low-key don't think the professor did it, but we'll have to find out about that later.
I mean, Van Zieks does imply in our later conversation that the professor was killing nobles who were bad people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was specifically targeting certain nobles who were, like, villainous and
Corrupt.
causing harm. Like,
Yeah.
Van Zieks straight up is like, the world is a better place without those people in it. However...
He also says one other thing that's interesting. I don't know if anybody caught on this. He says he only ever knew 3 men with the, quote, certain look in their eyes to seek the truth no matter what. And that was Clint, Genshin, and now Ryunosuke. So those are some interesting names to mention all 3 together. His brother, Genshin, who we know is the professor.
The guy who murdered his brother.
And Ryunosuke. So that's some very interesting, like, contradictory, like, comparisons to make there, I think, for somebody who's going to seek the truth no matter what. Food for thought.
Yeah, and he does sort of imply, like, oh, I actually really respected this guy. He worked with my brother. Like, I looked up to him. So now I'm like, okay, it's making a little more, like, sense that you're, like, really busted up about this one particular guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm still I need more from him.
If it turns out that I think wildest take that Strongheart somehow is responsible for the killings, for the creation of the Reaper, and the killings back then are supposed to, like, be whoever's the Reaper's initial attempt, and then the Reaper goes on to do corrupt officials in the court, such as that really rich guy we did in the previous game. And Genshin Asogi was simply just a scapegoat. The guard at the prison must have attempted to help him escape, and instead of fucking succeeding in that, they fired him, but he must be receiving hush money in some way, because his wife is, like, living it fucking up right now, baby. She is. She has, like, gold and shit, and I'm like, damn, baby, you want to buy me dinner because I'm broke?
Yeah, for him not working at the prison for the last 10 years, their home life has been fine, right? They still have their house. They're not living on the street. Like, it's good.
You know, to be fair, if I had a wife
Money's
like
coming
her,
from somewhere.
I'd take hush money. I that's enough of that. I play this persona on this fucking, like, podcast sometimes, and I'm like, I gotta draw the line somewhere. At what point do I like become the mask?
Right. Well,
Rose, you okay there? I haven't heard from you in a little bit.
It's because I was having trouble breathing. I'm okay. I really am mostly better, listeners. It's just, you know how it is.
Yeah. The final thing that Van Zieks says before we go to court, is that, we convince him, right, to let us represent him in court. Did this scene work for y'all? Like, him finally relenting and being like, like I said, when he says this line about seeing the look in their eyes about pursuing truth, him finally relenting and being like, all right, Ryunosuke, I'll do it. You show him the picture, of Gregson, and, you're like, listen, look, this picture of you, Gregson, and Clint, Gregson had it, in his office. He kept it with him this whole time. He didn't think less, of you or anything like that. He still thought highly of you. Otherwise he would have thrown this picture out. And so that's kind of our last, like, real one-on-one moment with Van Zieks before we get into court.
I thought it was all right. I didn't feel like super, like, it didn't feel like a huge, like, catharsis moment for me, but, like, I'm okay with that. Because, like, he's still kind of a dick about it.
No,
he is.
I was gonna backhand slap him from across the bars. I think that
like Sasato is like, no, fuck you, we're defending you.
Right.
Here's the thing for me is that, like, the reason this scene doesn't do it for me is because I find the best reluctant witness, like, defendant we've had so far was Gina Lestrade in the previous game, where Susato straight up goes, all right then, give up on us. Just don't say shit. Say that you don't want us to represent you, idiot. And that was so funny. And then now we just have, like, oh, I was racist, but, you seem like a really cool dude.
For me, I was getting more of a, like, all right, listen, asshole. Like, they do, like, have sympathy for him, because they're, like, I don't know, good people or whatever. But,
Not me!
but, like, the way I felt about it, like Sasato and me were both like, yeah, but, like, if you care about Gregson, like, the other guy's gonna get away. Like, you didn't do it. Who did it? Help us figure it out, jackass. Like,
yeah.
I didn't consider that angle. Yeah, I did forget that he actually liked Gregson. That's
yeah. So it's
fair.
like, you don't like us, but like, you should do this for Gregson if you're not gonna do it for yourself or for us.
I just still don't fuck with this dude. I just don't like his fucking vibe, man.
I know you personally do want to send him to the gallows, and I am sorry you're missing out on that, but
I know it's not the correct. Listen, if it turns out after all of this he actually did it, thumbs fucking up from me from the jury. But if we find out that, like, yeah, he didn't do it, and also, because, like, the big thing about this case is that, like, the reason we think that he is the prime suspect is because they go, well, Gregson was killed by the Reaper, and everyone knows who the Reaper is. It's you, and you were at the scene, so therefore you're the Reaper. And our main character, Ryunosuke, goes, oh, well, this case is also about proving who the Reaper is. And I'm like, we gotta prove what now? What? No, we just gotta prove this guy's innocent, that he didn't do it. And then Ryunosuke is like, no, we also have to completely solve the mystery of the Reaper. And it's like, what? That's like a different court case.
It's been Ace Attorney since the beginning.
I know, but, like, why can't it just be one thing?
It's always got to be about finding the true killer, too. It's always got to be about that.
The thing about Gregson is that he gets killed in, like, an apartment all the way across town in a shitty part of town that no one even lives in the apartment building. It's run down. It looks like shit. It looks like a fucking room from a horror escape place at a carnival.
It has a window.
It has a window that's boarded up.
But it has a window.
Have a window.
Got it.
It has a window.
And it has a board with, like, a bunch of red thread and papers all over it that are a whole bunch of cases relating to Reaper cases, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it also has a photo of Evie Vigil in the unit.
But younger.
Yeah.
What's up with that, Gregson?
Yeah, what's up with that?
I think...
Buddy.
What's up with that, Gregson? People theorize that this is Gregson's secret lair that he uses to investigate the Reaper. Maybe that's what the, like, secret case he was working on is, but also that's, like, really dumb. I don't know. I don't like that twist.
And Cosma immediately theorizes that this is actually the Reaper's, secret base, and Gregson discovered it.
I think that's also dumb. Because, like, I don't think I'm going to be satisfied with any answer with who this room belongs to. But, Gregson goes in here, our client follows, finds Gregson, doesn't find Gregson, there's a whole thing we have to go through in court, but essentially finds Gregson's body, and then 3 people go upstairs and go, oh my god, you did it, you're an asshole, and that's what this fucking case is. Really curious how the redheads fit in. This apartment looks like shit. I still think it's Gregson's. They also discussed that Gregson loves, like, not love the Reaper, but he straight up goes, hey man, he's keeping crime off the street. Can we really hate him?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I guess. Is vigilantism okay when you're in London? Sure, why not?
Only in London?
London only.
Wait, is it London only vigilantes?
It really depends on who the Reaper kills, because, like, if the Reaper is killing the people who actually did it, I mean, like, but also, like, we can't do that. It's very complicated.
I mean, it seems like he is, but...
Yeah.
And the thing is, we already have some data about, like, when McGilded was murdered.
Mhm.
We know who did that. We caught
Yeah.
that guy.
That wasn't the Reaper, that was just some fucko.
Like, that guy just got killed because he killed somebody else's dad, and that guy got him.
I wouldn't live a life where someone would want to kill me, IMHO.
Yeah, so, like, some of it could easily be coincidence, but, you know, that is an awful lot of dead people.
Yeah. So then we have to go to court. Man, gee willikers, we gotta go to court. We didn't even solve the mystery of the missing prison guard.
Yeah, we found that guy.
Wait, we found that guy?
Wait.
Yes. No.
Sorry, wrong guy.
We didn't find that guy. You're ahead, aren't you? You're ahead, aren't you? Aren't you?
I'm burdened with knowledge. I'm sorry.
You ate that fucking fruit in the garden and we were
fruit?
explicitly told not to.
Listen, I was forced to eat the fruit.
So, yes, no, we get into court and we meet, we get Van Zieks' statement first, which is like, just, I walked into the room and I saw nothing. The body just appeared. There was a gun on the ground. I picked it up, right?
It was
Okay,
really dark.
If we can learn anything from Ace Attorney games, don't fucking pick up guns. Just leave them.
Exactly. Do not
Stop
touch
picking
that.
up guns off the ground. Oh, it was just laying there. I thought I'd just pick it.
Oh, I'm a prosecutor who stumbled onto a murder scene. Let me pick this shit up.
Real talk, if I ever encounter a gun on the floor, I'm gonna have to call one of you because my first instinct would be to pick it up.
Yeah,
well,
call
as long
me.
as your
I'll
first
stop
instinct
you.
then is changed to call us, that's fine.
It's on your first thought that's the
We'll
wrong.
tell you not to.
Yeah. Alright, fair enough.
Okay. Problem
That was a
solved
really
then.
easy to win argument.
I didn't want to fight you. You're right.
So yes, but you know, the very first thing then is that I don't know if this worked for you guys or not, but you have the immediate contradiction of the candles, right? Because he claims that he couldn't see the body. It was totally dark in there. But you're like, but we know that there was a candelabra on the wall that would have lit up, you know, right over where the body was. So there's a big contradiction immediately right away.
That shit could be lit anytime. That's nothing.
But it's like you start to like realize that there's things wrong with Van Zieks' testimony, and instead Cosma kicks the door in and does the whole thing, which I don't know. I kind of enjoy this where Cosmo, he gets his own objection theme that plays, right? He immediately says like three things in a row that's like, there's this wrong, and there's this wrong, you know, right? So it's just kind of fun. And then you're like, okay, well, all right, well, I was going to say that, but I guess you could say that.
Yeah,
okay.
He's cross-examining our fucking witness. What the hell?
Yeah.
He's cross-examining his own damn witness.
I think it's kind of fun.
Why am I here? What? I'm superfluous. Also, there's no jury. Very important to mention. This is a closed case.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We simply got to convince one guy.
It's just the judge. Yep. But
a return to form.
But yeah, I don't know. Did Cosmo's theme stick out to you? I think it's one of my favorite themes in the game, personally, which is why I bring it up again here. I really enjoy Cosmo's prosecutor theme.
I don't really recall it much, but I think also it's been a little while, and I was very sick.
You were sicko. I think that his prosecutor theme was fine. I just prefer the original version better when he was my friend and also dead.
I did like it when he was my friend.
Oh, I preferred you when you were dead.
I low-key kind of. It was easier. Now you got a fucking fist fight in court. Fisticuffs, apologies. We're in London.
Sorry, London.
Sorry, London. Sorry, London Tipton from Sweet Life and Zack and Cody.
There's nothing that she needs. I don't need to apologize to her. She's great.
She learned what the Prindle was.
Yeah.
I
Objectively the best character.
Honestly, true. London Tipton is kind of the best character on Sweet Life and Zack and Cody. So this
New
case
podcast idea.
We watch every episode of Sweet Life and Zack and Cody and talk about it.
Oh my god, I would actually rather die.
Why do you hate that, Rose? What's the problem?
Well, it's not very good. You see.
I see.
So you'd watch it for London, but not for a podcast.
No, I think I would put it on and be like, haha, remember this? And then be like, this wasn't good then and it's not good now. And turn it off.
It inspired the careers of the Sprouse twins, Rose.
I don't care.
They got to do a commercial for Pokemon where they played Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
Those were arguably, those are top tier games, so.
Yeah,
okay, well, I couldn't play Pokemon. It wasn't allowed in my house, okay?
Okay, sorry.
Well, you can come over to my house and play Heart Gold. I have Heart Gold.
Okay, yay.
Rose, dead ass, I gave you a DS with ROMs on it. I think it does have Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can go over to my house and play Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
Do we just want to start playing Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and then, compare our
progress? Yeah, let's start recording.
Updated Autopsy report.
Season 2 is
going to be
Pokemon together.
Pokemon. Yeah,
we gotta go back to this court case.
Oh, okay, if we must.
We gotta fucking find out who the Reaper is.
I just haven't got to see anybody in a while. I'm goofy.
Rose, that's so true, goofy. Actually. You're my friend.
So London Tipton was played by Brenda Song.
Yes, I know he was played by Brenda Song.
No, I'm kidding.
She married Macaulay Culkin.
Deep dive.
Deadass, she married Macaulay Culkin. I think they have a family together.
Nice.
I saw a video going around of her a couple days ago in which she was like, "It should be called the Brindle." London was right.
That's base as hell.
Nobody should be making fun of her. She's completely 100% right.
I would love that actually, but I'm just sorry. You said Prindle, my brain just went Common Writer Prindle. Get into gear,
Prindle.
Yep.
Oh, dude,
whenever I try to have Prindles, though, my hand kind of gets stuck in the tube. It's annoying.
You motherfucker! I thought it was too easy. I thought to myself, no, I simply won't. I will not make this joke.
The fruit is too low hanging.
Oh my god!
What are we doing?
I'm delirious.
How did we get here?
What
are we talking about?
And Gossip and Sandwich show up on the stand.
I hate Gossip.
Oh, there we
go.
You
hate Gossip.
I think he needs to see a doctor really badly.
That lower fat lip. I believe he's a reference to another Sherlock Holmes character.
I don't care whose he is a reference to. What the fuck is going on there, bro?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta see a doctor. It looks like you lost a fight against a hornet's nest.
Okay,
I'm glad we left.
Animal Crossing Hornet's Nest. Not the bees.
Yeah, the whole thing about Gossip is that he has a lower fat lip, and it's he flicks it.
Yeah, and he keeps fucking hitting it.
It's like watching a person fumble with a zit on their face. It gives me that vibe.
Oh, I don't think that. Oh.
Now you see my issue.
He's a reference to the man with the twisted lip.
Okay,
how twisted was the lip?
I don't know what that is, but sure.
I mean, that's what I assume, right? Because he's got a big, fat lower lip, and he's
a reference to the song "Fat Lip"
by Sum 41.
By Sum 41, yeah.
Christ.
Oh man, Venus is selling firecrackers to the school kids in what is honestly genuinely a hilarious racket, I think.
It's very funny. I kind of love Venus.
I kind of love it. Yeah, she's like, I sell little firecrackers to the kids, and they go pop, 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 pop. And what's great is I tell the kids if they buy 100 of them, they'd be able to blow up their school. So the kids save up all their money and they come and buy little firecrackers for me every day in hopes that they can eventually get enough to blow up their school. And then I go and they tell their principal and their school teachers that they've got firecrackers and they're going to use them to do crimes at the school. And then the principals and teachers say, thank you for informing us of this and give me a little money on the side. So I get the money both ways, get it coming and going. And then they confiscate the firecrackers. And then the kids come back next day and go, I lost my firecracker. I need a new one, and buy it again.
God.
It's so fucking good.
She does a bit where she takes a match and strikes it off her bottom and then light firecrackers and throws it in court.
Yeah.
And, like, that's gotta be illegal, right? I'm, like, looking at the judge, being like, is this allowed?
The judge is just like,
this is a murder case. And then the last witness, poor Sandwich.
Yep.
Oh, my God, dude, we ruined that guy's life. I've never felt
Poor
so
Beppo.
guilty.
He's still shivering away there. He's got
You get
a
him
little
fired from his
sign
fucking
on.
bus job. Now you're doing this to him.
We get him fired so hard that he becomes a philosophizer on the fucking streets of London.
He ditches his name.
He becomes, they call him Sandwich because he's got two boards, one on his back and one on his front, and it says 5 pounds for a thought or whatever. And it's not just simply
pence.
just like, man, what if we were like, okay.
He de-Beppos and becomes a sandwich.
Dude, I kind of wish we actively ruined Beppo's life. I care more about Beppo than if anything.
Yeah, apparently there is a character. I think Beppo is a character in a Sherlock Holmes story, but then Sandwich, obviously his reference now is just, it's a reference because he's wearing a sandwich board.
Wait,
but I like his sign, his saying that he says early on, where he just says, "There's really nothing to me. Empty in the head, I am. Just 2 slices with no middle."
Christ, Beppo.
This reminds me of the conversation
Beppo.
I had the other day with my European friends about them putting butter on all of their sandwiches, no matter what.
Well,
No matter what?
No matter, like, every sandwich they make, they have butter on it.
Would that make it better?
I don't know.
I'm kind of curious.
And they were, like, dragging me through the dirt because I
Maybe we
don't
should
put
try.
butter on my sandwiches.
BLT?
I don't really have a lot of sandwiches, but, like, why is that weird that we don't put butter on our
We're
We're
sandwiches?
Americans. We have enough butter on our shit. We should be cutting down on it.
All right,
Yeah,
all right.
true.
We'll put mayonnaise on some things. It's fine. It
Mayonnaise.
functions.
Yeah, it
pretty
was like
similarly.
mayo, mustard, whatever. Like,
That's enough. For a lot of
sure.
us.
But they're like, no, we put butter on our, like, ham and cheese sandwich. And I'm like, huh?
Oh.
Oh.
Every time we do this and we bring up one of these big cultural differences, it makes a whole mess in the comments too. Because last time we brought up the TV tax, and
That's good.
we got like 20 comments.
Oh my
Wait,
gosh.
talking about the
Wait,
TV tax.
The TV tax.
Oh, the TV tax. Oh, that was
Yeah.
we taught Tiago about that. That was a good time.
You guys didn't teach me shit. I didn't learn anything.
Do you know
Out
what it is?
one ear and out the other.
I didn't learn
That's
a fucking.
true.
I didn't learn a fucking thing about it. I'm still
Alright, well,
lost.
Europeans fight in the comments about butter, I guess.
Yep.
Am I supposed to
Do you
fight?
butter your ham and
No.
cheese sandwich?
Oh,
They
butter.
fight
Not like-
it for
And not
decent-
like butter it to like make a grilled sandwich. Like put butter on the inside cold and eat your cold sandwich.
Okay,
with
actually,
butter.
straight up, like we do that in Brazil as well. Sometimes it's like just like bread, ham, butter in the middle. That's like a breakfast meal.
Mm-hmm.
It's
that's like foreign to me.
it literally is.
It is to me. We'll find out. Leave your comments below.
Oh dear.
Tell me your and for engagement, just to make our videos a little more, get some engagement going in the comments. Go ahead and put your favorite sandwich and what goes on it in the comments. Just do that for me.
Yeah, we need this
Help us
for
out.
our
juice the metrics a little bit.
our SEO.
My favorite sandwich is chicken pesto.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That's what's good.
Got it.
So,
You were
speaking
so
of sandwich.
sincere
Yeah.
about that.
Speaking of sandwich,
You're
our
right.
third
I'm getting
digression for the episode. Yes, they describe what they saw, like when they get up into the room, and of course, we immediately realize that none of these people are reliable in any way.
The hot lady straight up says, "I'll lie, and I'll do it all the time with a straight face." And then
she says it like 5 times. She's like, I lie all the time. I love lying.
And then later on,
That's Rose.
We introduce a contradiction, and we
I
go,
don't do it on purpose.
No, and she straight up like goes, "Oh, was that something I wasn't supposed to do?" Teehee. And I'm like, "Are you fucking what? Someone's on trial for murder. Can you be serious?" And she goes, "I guess. I don't know." We talk
all
like
the judiciary in the stands are just like, "Oh, fucking Christ!"
Some of them are just
what
like,
are we doing here? Is this the state of our judicial system?
I kind of understand why Van Zeeks went Joker mode for a little bit there about the jury system. It kind of makes sense. We have to fucking catch them on the contradiction. Literally every single one of them. Fucking Fat Lip over there goes like, "I didn't fall, and I didn't spill into blood, and I didn't touch that." And we all go, "Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did."
Through my party, like
And you stole fizzy lifting drink. And we find the weirdest. All right. The fucking actual scheme of how this body was found is kind of a genius, but could only be like written in a fucking weird ass Sherlock Holmes parody, where like there's a board. The room is dark. There's a board in between the person entering the room and the corpse with a lit candle. The lit candle is connected to a series of firecrackers. That pissed me off because I'm going on a tangent now real quick. I knew the answer was that the firecrackers was used as it was a timed device in which that, like, once the candle reached the fire, it would go off and cause a bang loud enough to be misconstrued as a gunshot. I knew this. In my heart, I kept presenting the firecracker. However...
Yeah. I saw those firecrackers and I said, uh-huh.
However, the game does not allow that as an answer until you examine the firecrackers. Now, I think the layman who plays any of these games would be able to intuit that a firecracker could be used to fake a gunshot. I don't think I need to, it's asking me if I want to, look into the thing to see if the thing does what it does, right?
Look down the barrel of the gun to see
if there's a bullet in there.
There's a bullet down there.
Does this knife work?
You have to examine it, and you pull, and you set him off, right? Because Ryunosuke's like, I wonder if the bang that this big one makes would be loud enough to sound like a gunshot. And he and Susato set it off in the courtroom, and they're like, oops, teehee, I guess we did it. It does sound a lot like a gunshot. And then it updates the description to say, this sounds a lot like a gunshot, right?
What frustrates me is that, I understand that, the kayfabe in all this is that, we examine it while we're, ducking our heads underneath the bench or whatever, because the rest of the court doesn't see us examine this. But I feel like if I caused a firecracker to go off in court, I feel like the judge should go, hey, what was that?
Yeah.
And, it's just acceptable to me that we literally cause a gunshot noise. I mean, maybe he's going deaf because the fucking girl is doing it. I don't know.
I mean, we do it a whole bunch then later. We set it off a lot.
Yeah, it's crazy how much, firecracker... I don't know.
I don't even think about it, because I just inspect everything instantly that I get, because that usually is a good idea.
That's true. It's just that as soon as I saw this firecracker girl, oh my god, I just got that she's supposed to be a real firecracker. Oh my god. Anyway.
Oh my god. I feel like there's at least once every recording somebody goes, oh my god, I can't believe I didn't notice this thing. That's really obvious. I've done it for sure.
I just feel like that was the most come on, I know what a firecracker is. I know what it does. It makes a bang. Therefore, that was...
We've done this at least twice in Ace Attorney already.
Yeah. Point being, makes a bang, causes people to go up. The board falls over, which lets the light in from the candle. Therefore, we can see the body. I thought that was kind of a genius scheme. Was that in a Sherlock Holmes story?
Looks at Rose.
It doesn't really jump to mind.
Yeah, I don't think this specific setup is in a Holmes story. No,
because I actually kind of really like this because it feels very Sherlock to me. You know?
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I get it.
It's not out of place.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thanks.
Yep.
Um.
So yeah, we do that.
We do that.
And then let's see here. That's kind of like the last big thing is relocating the bulletin board, right? Realizing that it was here on the left side of the, well, from when we're looking at it from top down, the right side of the room, instead of the left side of the room like we originally found it in. So yes, they had to tamper with the crime scene, and we are able to prove that. And then that kind of, jumps into the bit where, Cosmo's like, damn, you're pretty good at this whole defense attorney thing. And, we say, like, we want to, like, Gregson was investigating the Redheaded League, so we think that it's a good chance that they were the real killers.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get them on the stand.
And
that's kind of where we leave it for recess.
So, like...
I mean, we did see those two characters at the very beginning of this case in Holmes's office, and I thought those looked like witnesses. So,
They made models for him at the start, so they were going to come up again later.
I can't recall. Was Gregson the one who actually arrested the two redheads, or did Sherlock just hand these redheads off to, like, a random officer?
Gina did.
Gina.
Oh, Gina, you're so correct, bestie.
They were already ready and set up for her to just pick them up and bring them in, basically.
Gina's like, how dare you defend the Reaper? And we go, we simply want to find the truth. And she goes, okay, find the truth. I trust you, Naruto.
Yes. Naruto.
Mr. Odo. Oh my gosh, she says Odo like fucking Samwise says Frodo. Mr. Odo.
Man.
What's up, Rose?
I don't know. I wasn't expecting it. I just spilled water on myself. Oh.
Rose, no.
No.
At least it's only water. You can like just let it dry.
Yeah.
That's the good thing about spilling water on yourself. It does get dry eventually.
It's clean.
So that's kind of where we leave it for the courtroom segment then. And yeah, we go to a recess, and we'll have some more court next episode as well. I'm trying to think if I'm looking at my notes here if there's anything else to tackle in this segment, but yeah, I think the only other thing I guess I kind of have here is just in general about Cosmo is he is both, like you said earlier, Tiago, right, that he's kind of being a defense attorney from the prosecution bench in a way, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's aggressive, and he is, pointing out contradictions against us at times, but at the same time, he's still doing he fits very much into the later Edgeworth stages, like when we know Edgeworth later in the later games, where he's kind of like, yes, now he's on the always find the truth type side. Yes, he's an antagonist, but he is, he's your good buddy as well, and so I feel like Cosmo's kind of right on the edge of that line where, yes, he's kind of antagonizing us, at times, but there is still underneath it all still that search for the truth, which keeps him from being too annoying or just straight up feeling like, oh, he turned into a bad guy now, quote unquote, right?
Yeah, he doesn't feel like a bad guy. It's just sort of like, come on, man, what's up? Can we talk about this a little bit?
I mean, we know what he's looking for, right? He said he wants to find out the truth and what happened with his dad, but how is this all clicking together yet? Good question.
Who knows?
Who knows? Certainly not I.
Well, we might have to.
That's your job. Your job is to know.
We gotta find out.
Our job is to
playing
not
coy.
know, and your job is to know. This is the point of the podcast.
Yep.
Our job is to. Our job is to find out, and their job is to fuck around.
Yeah.
All four of our jobs are to fuck around. I don't know who I
was
killed
almost
in that.
about
I guess
to-
myself.
Yeah, I was almost about to say that old Tyrion Lannister line. I drink and I know things, right? Which has now become so overused and twee and what would be the best way
Cringe.
to put it? Reddified.
Yeah,
It's so
Right.
weird to think about what happened to Game of Thrones.
Honestly, you could definitely see that meme being posted by like people that you went to high school with on Facebook.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I was given a shirt once
I
Oh.
just
that had
think it's-
Tyrion Lannister on it that said "I drink and I know things," and I was like, "Uh-oh,
I think it's really
what
think
does
funny.
it say about me?"
I literally had the first like couple of Game of Thrones books that I got in high school.
Mhm.
I was 16, and my dad found me reading them, and was like, "No," and took them away. He was like, "You can have these back later." And then
You
I
gotta
was
be
like,
older for
"This old
that.
man isn't gonna finish these goddamn books." I only made it through like, I was in like the third one or whatever, anyways, and I was already sick of it. And then like a decade later, it's like the biggest thing ever, and now it's gone.
It's
Yeah.
kind of interesting that the final season completely wiped itself off the map.
The final episode literally ruined everything.
I think you should
And-
just read a better book series like Animorphs or something.
I don't think there's anything wrong with the
Books are
books per
alright.
se. It's the show.
Have you read Animorphs, Rose?
I was talking about Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I know, but have you read Animorphs?
I've read some of the Animorphs books. You know I wasn't an Animorphs kid.
I know, but I think we should.
I had more
read.
important things to pick up at the Scholastic Book Fair, like the Bionicle novelizations.
I see. Okay,
Yeah,
should I
understandable.
close?
Thanks, Greg Farsty.
I'll
Thanks,
just
Greg.
I'll just close the box then. Never
Hey,
mind.
can we get Greg on the podcast?
Yeah, can I get Greg Farsty on the podcast?
Greg,
I thought
thank
you
you
were-
for
Greg-
everything.
I thought you meant
It's just-
Gregson for a
That'd
second.
be
It's
real
just me
funny.
and Ben talking about Bionicle while Tiago and Dess are just like, uh-huh.
Wait, I actually think Des has more Bionicle information than I do.
I really do not.
You're
What's
married
the
to
right-
Bionicle.
What's the right level of celebrity that we could reach? That's right, like that perfect equilibrium that our tier of popularity could hit.
I mean,
My
Is Greg Farsty in there? I think he might be.
might
right?
be. We would need a more
Yes, yeah.
Bionicle-centric podcast, but...
Like, I don't think we can get Hugh Laurie, but we might be able to get Greg Farsty.
I
You
don't know.
think
I was
so?
like, who's famous that I know?
You
And then I
already
was
call
like,
us.
Ben, you might be the most internet famous person I know.
we get K.A. Applegate.
I used to work with Jake Thomas from Lizzie McGuire. Maybe I could
Oh.
maybe I could try to touch base with him and see if he'd come on the podcast one day. I don't know if he's ever played an Ace Attorney though.
we can't just be name dropping people that we know now. We fucking. I mean, I guess
I'm not naming anybody who's not already a public figure.
that's true. That's true.
All these people that I'm naming are public figures. Their names are just out there.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. What if a Jake Thomas fan like hits you up and is like, I gotta know everything about him? Like
I don't have anything that's not already on the internet, bud. That's the real secret. There's no secret. There's no secret knowledge here.
So what I'm hearing is we don't know that many celebrities, so we're gonna have to make do with what we've got.
Right.
Greg Farsty.
Yeah.
We don't even have Greg
So.
Farsty.
They don't even have Greg Farsty.
Oh,
Me at
I
the
do,
fucking.
just not here.
This has quite possibly
Alright.
been our most deranged, like,
That can't
lackadaisical
be true.
episode.
Oh yeah, don't say that. I'm sure we've
It's a
had-
post-illness podcast.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
Fair play. I actually think it's like really. Now I'm gonna like harp on myself for a little bit. I think it is subpar podcasting when someone goes, "This is our wackiest episode. Let's go," and it's like,
This is definitely not our wackiest episode.
yes, I know. No, I understand, but like, I find it to be like, let the work speak for itself.
We're little freakazoids all the time.
I know.
I'm-
Yes, I agree. I'm
Yeah.
just. I don't know, it's giving me like that vibe where Netflix is going, we're gonna have the characters say what they're doing actively to the audience so that they know what's happening.
Right.
And I don't want to be that guy. Did you guys see the clip from Wallace and Gromit where they it's the Wallace and Gromit where they go to the moon, and the scene where they don't talk while they're building a moon, they have like a voiceover.
Yeah.
They have a voiceover where Wallace is going, "Hard work this is. Time to saw this piece of wood. Gromit, hand me that." And it's like, bro, I can see what's happening on the fucking screen.
Oh, yeah.
I've got eyes.
That upsets me. What a downer.
I know. I mean, I really hope they don't. I mean, that was just like a parody thing to show like what would it be like if Netflix actually went through with that decision. But also,
Has anybody watched Chicken Run 2? That was a Netflix production. Is that laden with those?
Oh god,
that style of script writing?
I don't know.
I haven't watched it yet, so I don't know.
I haven't watched it. Yeah.
I haven't seen it either.
Anyway, the reason why Wallace and Gromit is on the mind is because we
just watched
it recently.
We just watched Wallace and Gromit.
I made everyone watch Wallace and Gromit for my birthday movie.
It was a good movie.
Yeah.
Vengeance
Most Foul, the most recent one. That was pretty good.
And then I also made everyone watch the original shorts, of course, for context.
Speaking of the British, Rose, what do you think is going to happen in the next part of this case?
We should do some predictions.
Yeah, let's just do predictions and clock out. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Swipe your card, clock out.
I think we're probably gonna get Van Zeeks acquitted, but maybe not. I don't know. I don't even want to predict on that.
He's definitely gonna for sure get acquitted because there's not a lot of Ace Attorney games where we lose the case. And if we do, it's because of outside interference. Maybe Zanzies will get assassinated on the stand. Who knows?
Well, I don't think he did
sounds fun.
So we should still win.
No, he is Urecista, but I did not think that he is actually the Reaper.
That's the thing, is like I have no thing where it's like, oh man, maybe this guy did it, the evidence is looking really sketchy. I'm like, no, he did not do it, and I will find out why. But
because
I don't know. I think, let's see. When I initially saw these three Muppets on the stand, I was like, oh, these guys are all like paid witnesses. And that might still shake out to be the case. I don't know now, but they might have been like, I wouldn't be shocked if they were paid to like make confusing testimony and shuffle the crime scene around a little bit.
No, I think they're just three inept people.
Okay.
Oh.
Do you really think it's fucking gossip?
You asked for my random predictions.
That's true. You're right. I feel really bad now. I kind of just. I
wasn't even completely sold on that one. It's just like what I had.
I know. It's just that these three people don't look like they're plotting shit. I mean, look at Sandwich over there. His name used to be Beppo.
Look at Venus. She is plotting.
Yeah, she is plotting. That is fair. She does. I mean, I think she might actually just kill somebody in this fucking courtroom. Remember when a smoke bomb went off in the first court that we did?
That was
London?
Gina.
Yeah, that was crazy. What if another bomb went off?
We already had that happen in Ace Attorney 5.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That was like the first case.
That's the whole thing, that the courthouse is blown up.
It was a statement to say that we're in the dark ages of the law.
Yeah.
Do you think we're in the dark ages of the law now?
In real life or in London in Great
Yes.
Eastern?
I meant London, but
Do you have any other predictions, Tiago, then, before we wrap up?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, no, I kind of feel like I did a whole prediction thing early on, and
it's true. You did do it.
I'm gonna let the work speak for itself.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
still recovering.
We'll see how it all shakes out then. Next time we're gonna go through all the way to the end for this case. So that will do it for us this week. Let me check my notes here. You can keep up with the show via our website, updatedautopsy.report. Has links to all of our socials and everything that we do. Also has the links to all of our Let's Plays, where Dessy and I play through the games at youtube.com/@yotseben. So if you are not playing along with us, you can watch the Let's Plays there if you'd like to see footage of the games and kind of get some visual representation of what we're talking about there. You can follow me on all social media at Yotseben. And I always say all social media, but really the only place I post anymore is just Blue Sky. So, that's where I'm at. Dessy, where can people find you?
On Blue Sky, if you look really hard, I think somebody, maybe one or two people have found me because their brains are huge.
Some people sleuthed it out.
Some people figured it out. The extremely difficult task of finding me on Blue Sky.
With your name.
Yeah.
No, Rose, you let it out.
And Tiago, how about you?
You can find me at Tiago S. Ditra on most social media. I've kind of thought about if I wanted to change my handle, what would I want to change it to? I'll keep that in thought. But the whole point being is it's at Tiago S. Ditra on more social media, but also it's mostly Blue Sky at this point.
Mm-hmm. And Rose.
You can find me at Rose Nonsense on social media like Blue Sky. Also find me in bed again, getting better.
Sleeping.
And we hope you continue to recover. Thank you for
best.
Taking some time to
I
record
only
with
got
us.
one nosebleed today.
Oh my goodness.
Jesus,
Oh
Rose.
my God.
Oh, it's been so bad, guys. Sinus infections are not good.
They're not fun.
It's not good.
Oh man, yes, I had one recently. It was not fun.
So
So
bad.
everybody send your well wishes to Rose. And yes, thank you so much for listening. We hope that you will rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform. If you review us on Apple Podcasts for 5 stars or higher, but mostly 5 stars, we will read your review on the air. I'm all caught up on reading reviews right now, so hey, whoever writes the next one, you'll get read on the podcast. If you drop us a 5-star review, next time we will be playing the rest of Twisted Karma and His Last Bow. We'll see you next time. Bye.
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 I felt like that whole podcast was a fucking fever dream.
That's how my life has been.
Hey, you know what? Real talk. Rest in peace, David Lynch. We miss you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all there is to say.
Yeah.
And if you can believe it,
It's podcast recording night once again.
I've had 2 cookies and a can of Coke.
Wow.
phenomenal.
Phenomenal. I love that he
You know
says-
what? You know what? Actually, I have a case of cookies to make in the fridge,
Uh-huh.
and I have some Coke in the
Holy
some Coke
shit,
Zero in
Ben.
the fridge. So you know what? Tonight, I think I might make some cookies and have myself a Coke, so I can have 2 cookies and a Coke.
Ben, that is inspired. I love that.
I think I'm gonna go do
I
that.
think that sounds lovely. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go deal with my blood.
All right.
Truly
Yeah.
a David Lynch experience. I'm gonna go have 2 cans and a Coke. I'm gonna go deal with my blood.